Hello and welcome to No Sevens Dice Club. College football picks, week 13. Well, guys, this is it. This is the end of the road. Pretty much, we only got 2 more weeks left of college football season, and then that's it. Then it's off to college championships and college bowl games. Stick tuned to the very end, or you can fast forward it to the very end, whatever you want to do. But I am going to go into my $50 gift card college football bowl challenge. So make sure you stick around and listen to all the details. I'm going to describe everything this week. I think I got all the details hammered out. If there's something I'm missing, please comment below and let me know. Also, I want to say welcome to all my YouTube subscribers, all 100 of you guys. I hit the 100 mark today, so I'm really happy. Thank you guys for subscribing, tuning in. Hopefully I'm making you some money, whether it's in college football picks, whether it's in craps, or whether it's both. I'm hoping I'm making you guys some money either which way. Speaking of money, last week I said we are probably going to go 2-2. We ended up doing 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 push. The 1 push was LSU. I had them at 21 points. We pushed at 21 points for the LSU game. We won the Auburn game. We lost the Clemson game. We picked Wake Forest plus 32. Wake Forest didn't even get off the bus. I think half the team was still in the hotel room. So Auburn made a game of it at the end, but Georgia dominated that game for the first 3 quarters of that game. So we did really well, and then our dark horse covered too. So we went. So our dark horse picks, that was Ohio State and Rutgers, I think it was. That was minus 52 points for Ohio State. So we did plus 52, and we covered on that one too. So our dark horses is 3-5 for the season. Still not the best, but it is a dark horse. That's the reason why we pick it. So let's move on to week 13. Oh, real quick. Also, week 12, all of our bully picks hit. So we did really well on that. We cashed in some money on the bully picks too for the money line picks. All right, so let's get into week 13. That's the reason why you guys are here. And then we're going to dive more into the college football $50 gift card challenge at the end. All right, here we go, guys. So I did 2 of my picks, and then I answered 2 picks from my email picks that I received emails from. So I went over. I'm going to go over the 2 emails, and I'm going to go over my 2 picks. All right, so the Ohio State and Penn State game I'm going to talk about in a minute because I have a lot to read for that email I received. A ton of Ohio State fans came in and was asking me about the Penn State game. But right now I wanted to talk to you about the Arkansas at LSU. Arkansas at LSU is, they're playing at LSU. It's a night game. Arkansas fired their head coach. It's just a complete dumpster fire. He was showing signs of improvement, but obviously it was not to the liking of the boosters and the AD and everybody else at Arkansas. So he's out. Arkansas comes in. This is a rival game between the two. The battle of the boot, as it's called. LSU is minus 45. I don't think I've ever seen, doing college football picks, I've ever seen LSU this high as a minus 45. The only one that was higher was the Ohio State game at 52 last week. LSU is minus 45. Arkansas has no team whatsoever. LSU can definitely score points. That's not the problem here. The problem looking at this game is how is LSU's defense going to respond to their embarrassing performance in the second half of the Alabama game and the whole entire game of Ole Miss. If they play like that, Arkansas is going to run all over them. I don't care if you have water boys in there. It was just, it's embarrassing for them to be the number 1 team and for that defense to be like it is. It's kind of really upsetting because it makes you wonder how they're going to do against Ohio State, Clemson, and they got Georgia in a couple of weeks. So, they really got to fix this. I think LSU, they're going to put on the pads and they're really going to start tackling a lot better. I think they're going to have something to prove. But LSU minus 45 is a lot of points. I think Arkansas is going to score at least 10 points, if not 14 points in this game. And I think LSU is probably going to end up scoring about 55 points on average. I think that's where they're going to go. So, and I know I'm going to receive the hate mail from this, but I am an LSU fan. If you notice, I've taken all LSU points and spreads and everything else this year. LSU has pushed on one. They haven't covered on one, and that was the Auburn game, where they have not covered, but they have covered every single point spread except for the Auburn game. But they covered every single point spread this college season. So with that being said, I am going to take Arkansas on this, because I don't think I think they're going to come back in. I think they're going to score some points. As much as I do not want to say Arkansas on YouTube, they are going to come back, and they're going to score at least 10 points in this game. I think that's what they're going to average on this. So we're going to take Arkansas plus 45. I just think it's too much for LSU to cover. That's all. LSU is going to win this game outright. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I just don't think. I think the point spread's too lopsided. So we're going to take Arkansas plus 45 in that one. All right, the next game is Oregon at Arizona State. So I'm going to spend some time on this game, because I did receive emails on this game, and they're asking me, No Sevens, what did you think about? How do you think Oregon has a chance, or do you think a Pac-12 team has a chance over Alabama and over Georgia? All right, let's say Alabama's pretty much out of this. Tua got hurt. It's unfortunate. He's a great competitor. To all my Alabama fans, I'm really sorry about Tua. I was really hoping to see how he would have played out. I hope he has a great career in the NFL, and I wish him a great recovery. But Alabama, they're not going to make the playoffs. With the game coming up next week against Auburn, I think Auburn's probably going to win that game. With Auburn's defense, but I don't want to talk about that right now. The Georgia and LSU game for the SEC championship is going to be decided. I think Oregon is going to get in as the number 4 team in the playoffs. It's either going to be Oregon or it's going to be Utah to represent the Pac-12 as the number 4 team. So that's going to come down to the Pac-12 championship. Both teams need to root for each other, so that way they can have a strong resume. Both teams need to win out the rest of their season to have that strong resume to beat out Georgia's. Because if Georgia upsets LSU in the SEC championship, then Georgia's going to be the number 4 team. But if Oregon wins out and Utah wins out, and when they play, whoever the winner is, and LSU beats Georgia, or Georgia beats LSU, whichever one happens in the SEC championship, Oregon or Utah is going to have the stronger resume than Georgia will in that, because of as the resume performs in the eye test and everything else. Oregon, just barely lost to that game against Auburn in the first week. Oregon has really improved, so it's going to be an interesting eye test, and see where they place Oregon after this week. They had a really good win last night against Arizona, so we shall see. We just want Utah and Oregon to win out. All right, enough about that. Oregon and Arizona State. Oregon is minus 15.5. They're going to Arizona State, going down into the desert. They're traveling down. It's another night game, I believe. It's minus 15.5. Oregon's playing pretty much lights out. They need to have style points. They need to have. They need to show the committee that they belong. They need to really just dominate every single game from here on out. They cannot have any mistakes. They got to play perfect football, and they got to be dominating wins from here on out to get the style points, to get the eye candy, to get everything else that they need to prove that they are the number 4 team going into the Pac-12 championship. So I'm going to take Oregon. Minus 15.5 points is where I'm going with this one. I wanted to make sure I covered the whole entire email. That's the reason why I was a little lengthy, guys. I'm sorry, but that's what everybody was telling me on the West Coast is what I thought about Oregon and Utah. So we're going to take Oregon minus 15.5. And Jake, thank you for sending in that email. Hopefully I answered all your questions. If I left anything out, just comment below and I will take care of you, answer anything else you may have. All right, so Oregon minus 15.5. Next game is the Texas A&M at Georgia. There's really no teams playing this week. I mean, this is a really difficult week to find anything. So Texas A&M, they fell off the map. I mean, I have not heard anything about Texas A&M since after the Clemson game. And that was, what was that, week 2 of the college football season. So we have Texas A&M playing Georgia. It's at Georgia. Georgia's minus 15.5. Georgia has a phenomenal defense, great running attack. On the offense, Jake Fromm is struggling to throw the ball still. But Georgia is Georgia. I mean, I've dissected Georgia for the past month, so I'm really not going to go into Georgia. We all know what to expect out of Georgia. Their defense is just as good as Auburn's defense. Texas A&M, I don't even know where they've been for the past 2 months, really. I mean, they've kind of been like playing Casper. You know, they've disappeared on us. This is Jimbo Fisher has got really 2 tough games coming up. He's got the Georgia game, and then he's got to play LSU. And Texas A&M really needs to keep on winning to get into a bowl game. I think that right now they're bowl eligible. If not, they're playing for. They should be bowl eligible. If not, they're knocking on the door of being bowl eligible. Georgia's got a lot to keep the momentum going. They did win the SEC East. So they clinched that, so they are going to the SEC championship, but they can't put it on cruise control because just like Oregon, they have to get the style points for the committee, and they have to get all the eye candy and everything else for the committee to be that number 4 spot, because that battle between Georgia and Oregon is going to keep on fighting back and forth for the next couple of weeks. So Georgia really needs to come out here. We really need to dominate the Texas A&M team. So I'm going to take Georgia minus 15 points, but this is going to be a very, very close game with that 15 points. Georgia's going to win that game. I have no question about it. But Texas A&M is a good football team. You can't write them off. But I'm saying that Georgia... Georgia's probably going to win this game, probably by 14 points or by 17 points. So they might be a point under. They might be 2 points over on the spread. But I think they're going to win by at least 14 points, maybe 17 points. Who knows? You know, I'm expecting the game to probably be Georgia 45, Texas A&M, probably somewhere in the low 20s. It might even be in the upper 20s. That's the reason why I'm kind of flexing back and forth with this, but I'm going to take Georgia minus 15 because they, just like Oregon, they need the style points to keep on winning. So we're going to do Georgia minus 15. And then we're going to talk about the Ohio State game, which everybody keeps on emailing me about and what are my thoughts on it. And I'll let you guys know in 1 second. So let me write all this down and take care of this. And so... all right, here we are. So this is the board. Make sure I put that in view for you guys. All right, so the Ohio State is minus 12 versus Penn State. This is the biggest game of the week. This has got the most hype. It's a noon game. For whatever reason, I don't know who is the broadcasters, whoever picks these games and the time really needs to be fired and reevaluated for who picks these night games and these day games, because you have Ohio State playing Penn State in the middle of the day. I think it's 11 o'clock kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have LSU and Arkansas playing at night on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's totally flip-flop. I don't know who's picking the time schedules this year, but I mean, it is completely off center. All right, getting on to the game. So Ohio State's minus 12. Chase Young is supposed to be coming back for this game. The number one player overall in the draft. That's what everybody has him predicted as. A freak of nature. I mean, if you haven't seen this guy play, you really need to tune into this game and watch this guy play. His three-point stance that he does, the way he bends his hips and he flexes his body is pretty incredible. Really, really gifted, super talented player. I really like Ohio State in this game. I think the committee got this. I think Las Vegas odds have this completely 100% wrong. So if I was you, if you're listening to this early in the week, I would jump on Ohio State minus 12 right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my picks tomorrow because this is going to flip. You're going to have a ton of money by the end of the week going to Ohio State. And it won't be minus 12 by come Saturday. It's going to be minus 21 or 28 by the end of the week. So Ohio State is just dominating opponents on every level. They're Jim Day, he's got a great, phenomenal team he's built around. You could see it when he was taking over under Urban Meyer when he was suspended. How great that team was, and he hasn't let off there was no let off. In fact, with Day as a coach, he's actually excelled what Urban Meyer has created, which is hard to believe because Urban Meyer is a great coach, winning coach. He's won everywhere, and he's actually picked up the ball and took it off and started running with it as a coach. So I wish him lots of luck, and I think Ohio State is going to dominate this game. I see this game, and I'm sorry, Penn State fans, but I see this game probably being around in the upper 40s for Ohio State, probably around 45, 48, maybe 52. And Penn State probably have around 14 to 21 points. I mean, this is going to be totally lopsided. Ohio State's got something to prove to the committee that they should be the number one team after LSU's defensive debacle against Ole Miss. Ohio State's going to go in and say, hey, look, we got leapfrogged. We want something to prove. We want style points. We want the eye candy. We want everything that we deserve to be number one in the college football land. So Ohio State's going to come out. Penn State's going to come out too. This is their championship moment. This is everything that they've been playing for. So this is going to be a very physical game. So you're actually going to get a good test of both teams. But I just do believe that Ohio State is going to dominate this game from kickoff to the very end of the game, and it's going to be no contest. So I'm going to take Ohio State minus 12, and if I was you, I'll lock this in as quickly as possible earlier in the week because later on in the week, a ton of money is going to go to Ohio State. So we're going to take Ohio State minus 12. And then we're going to talk about the bully picks, and then we're going to break down the $50 gift card and the dark horse. All right. So Ohio State minus 12. Oop, I forgot my red pen. All right, so Ohio State minus 12. All right, so the bully picks. I normally do the bully picks in the first, but I kind of just got sidetracked. I normally do that first before I get anything. So our bully picks is Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, and Utah. That's who we're going to take the money line picks on. No point spreads, money line picks. All right, so we're going to do all those teams. And then we're going to take one of these teams, or if you have a team that you want this week, these are my teams I'm picking. You don't have to take these teams. You can pick whoever you want to. You can take Penn State plus 12 if you want, whoever you want to pick. So, but we're going to take our bully picks, and then we're going to take one of these teams, and we're going to move it over here. So that way we can get, almost an even payout. So if we put in $5, we're going to get $5. Or as I put in $100, I'm going to get paid $100. So that's how I usually do it. I'll take all my money line picks for my bully picks, and then I'll take one of these teams and go from there. All right, so the dark horse is Utah at Arizona. Arizona just got finished playing Oregon. We all saw that game. Well, if you didn't see that game, because it didn't wrap up till almost 12:30 at night Central Time. But it was a very late game. Oregon just dominated that game. I think the end of the score was Arizona had, I think it was 6 points, and Oregon had 38 points or something like that. It was a very dominating game from start to finish by Oregon. Utah is now playing Arizona. At Arizona, Utah is minus 22 points. Utah does not have the firepower that Oregon has. Utah has a very stout defense, and that's what they rely on. They have a very good running team. They run the ball really well, but they can't stop and throw the ball and be as dominating as Oregon is. So for my dark horse is I'm going to take Arizona plus 22. Utah is going to win this game, but Arizona is going to cover that point spread of 22. So we're going to write down Arizona plus 22. All right, and there we go, guys. If I can get my marker to work, and we'll be in business. Okay. So for the moment you've been waiting for, if you're still with me, hopefully you are, you guys can compete against me for the bowl game challenge. So there's a $50 gift card challenge. I'm challenging everybody who's watching this on YouTube. You're going to be betting against me on the college bowl challenge. So what we're going to do is after the championship week is over, the committee is going to release the bowls and who's going to be playing in the bowls. So the rules are very simple. You have to be a subscriber to No Sevens Dice Club before December 18th. So before December 18th, you have to be a subscriber to compete in the college football challenge. That's one of the rules. You have to have all your team's picks by December 18th. I will not take any more picks by December 19th. December 18th, you have up to 11, up to December 18th to make sure you have all your picks in. It's not that hard, guys. It's not going to take you that long. Maybe take you about 20-30 minutes to do it all. And then you're going to email it to me at my Gmail account. So it's no7s@gmail.com. You're going to email me this before December 18th. If you mail it to me after December 18th, I'll move this in line so that way you guys can see it. If you mail it to me after December 18th, you will not be in the bowl program. So you're going to email me all your picks, and what we are going to do for the college championship, you're going to have to pick the 4 teams that are going to be competing against each other. You have to pick who you're going to take in the championship series, who's going to be playing in New Orleans. So we're going to have, let's say it is right now. So right now we have LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia right now are the top 4 because it's not Tuesday yet. So all that's going to change. But so let's say that's coming up, and you have to make your picks. So you have to pick who out of those 4 who you think is going to be in the championship game down in New Orleans. Of course, this is not now. This is when the college committee actually comes out with the final one for the bowl games. So if you think it's going to be LSU and Ohio State, that's who you're going to pick. Or if you think it's going to be Clemson and Georgia, that's who you pick also. It just all depends on who you want. And then you have to put down what you think the score will be at the end of the game. So that way we don't have any ties or anything else. That way we can't sit there and say, oh, well, I'm going to pick Ohio State and Clemson. Well, you have to come up with the score. So how much, what do you think Ohio State's score is going to be? Is it going to be 48, 52 points, whatever you think? What is Clemson going to score in the game? So that's one thing you have to account for. All right. And then you're going to email me your picks. So let's say, week 13, this is like an example ballot of what it is. So on your email, you're going to have to write Ohio State versus Penn State. This is all an example. So Ohio State versus Penn State, and you have to write who you want. There's going to be no point spreads. It's just straight up winners. The only point spread that we're going to have a difference on is the college championship game. And if you have any questions, email me or comment below, and I will go through it over with you guys too. But it's pretty straightforward. For the bowl games themselves, the only thing you're doing is picking the winners. There is no point spreads. So, like, for example, the Ohio State versus Penn State, if that was a bowl game, you would just have to pick who do you think is going to win that bowl game outright. Is it going to be Ohio State or is it going to be Penn State? There would not be any point spreads. So that's all you have to worry about. And then you're gonna write it down in your email. So you're gonna write Ohio State versus Penn State, and then you're gonna put down the team that you think is going to win, and then you're gonna go to the next bowl game, and then it's gonna be, say, Arkansas at LSU is at a bowl game. You're gonna put down who you think is going to win that game outright. All right, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's the only work you have to do, and then you just have to email it to me before December 18th at no7sdiceclub@gmail.com. You have to be a subscriber. Don't try to sneak in an email and then not be a subscriber. It's really simple, guys. Just go down to the bottom, hit that subscribe button, and you're automatically entered into the $50 gift card challenge. Once when you send out your email and you are a subscriber, I can go back and I can timestamp everything so that way everything is legit. I just want to do this to give you guys a little bit of a challenge to go against a really good bowl person that I am. See how good you guys are. I know you guys are really good. I know you guys are making money. I get emails and all the success stories that you guys are having lots of success. So I'm glad you guys are doing really well. This is just a fun little challenge that I want to do with you guys, and hopefully it works out well. Hopefully I can do it all well, and then at the end of the national championship, which will be played on Monday, I think it's January 13th. On Tuesday, January 14th, I'm going to come in. I'm going to give you how well I did in the bowl games. And so I'm going to say, all right, well, I've only lost 4 bowl games. For example, I lost 4 bowl games. Is there anybody else that lost less than me? Please send in your email picks. If you lost less than 4 or if you tied 4, send in your emails. And if you guys have lost less than 4 bowl games or whatever it may be, whatever the outcome may be, send me your bowl picks, and if you're the winner, if you're the closest, I'll match what you sent to me on December 18th to what you sent me on January 14th, and I'll go through it. And if you are the winner, I'll send you a $50 gift card, Amazon gift card, for free. That's the only thing you have to do. But we'll go over that more in January. But that's all what we need to do. Is you just need to go ahead and just type in your bowl games. Send it to No 7's Dice Club. There's no point spreads. It's just who do you think is going to win each bowl game, and then you have to pick once when the college committee makes their final top 4 picks. You have to write down who's going to be in the college championship game and what the point spread each team is going to score in that game. All right, and then after on January 14th, I'm going to come out with another video and say, all right, guys, send me in your picks if you scored less than 4, 5, 6 bowl games. I've only lost like 6 games. So you guys, if there's somebody out there that lost less than 6 games, send me your name and your team's list to No 7's Dice Club, and we'll go from there. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And no, I'm not going to sit there and open up everybody's emails and try to decide on which team sounds favorable or everything else. I'm not that kind of person. So I already know. I can already hear your voices in the background saying, "Well, No 7's going to have access to all the emails and everything else." I'm not even going to open up the emails till January 14th. That's going to be locked and sealed away. I don't even want to look at them because I have my own list and I have my own standards of how I pick games, and that's the reason why I'm pretty successful doing college football picks. So I'm not even going to open up the emails until everything is all settled till January 14th. That's the reason why my record's 20 wins, 7 losses, and 1 push for the season so far. So I'm doing pretty well right now. I'm going to keep on trucking. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you do have any questions, you can always email me at no7sdiceclub@gmail.com or send me a comment below. But I wish you guys lots of success. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you guys enjoyed a $50 Amazon gift card college football bowl challenge. So I'll talk to you guys next week for the last week, week 14, and then that's it, guys. No more. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.